Hi, this is Cindy Benson with USTA Texas, and I am meeting today with Jenny Lee, who is a volunteer for our spring rollers up in the Woodlands area outside of Houston. And the spring rollers is a wheelchair group that has been going on for quite some time, and I'll kind of let Jenny give you all the background on that. So Jenny, how many years have you been involved with the spring rollers?
I want to say it's been about 4 years now. I've lost track, but it's been a little while.
Okay.
Spring rollers.
All right. That's awesome. That's awesome. That is great. So during all of this, what changes did you have to make to how did you adjust to getting back on the courts? And I know that you're playing at the Woodlands Parks and Recs, and so can you explain how that relationship worked during all of this?
Well, the Parks and Recs gives us the courts for free to use, and they closed for all the courts for a while, took the nets down, locked the courts, and then it started opening back up. They put one net on a double court, and they opened the doors in the bathrooms. So we had a Zoom call of kind of our core group of players, just to kind of get a feel if they were wanting to come back or if they were still nervous. And Cindy was nice enough to attend to give us the USTA recommendations. And most people said they were ready to give it a try, and we just stuck with a small group, so we were able to see how the social distancing was going to go and see how everybody felt about the mask. And so that's how we started back, just a small group.
Yeah, I mean, I remember being on that call, and I remember some of the wheelchair players said that, that they were concerned because they have underlying health issues that an able body doesn't have. And I do remember them saying, I think you asked the question, do you want us to wear masks? And they said, absolutely, we want you to wear masks. And so that first day out, did y'all wear the masks and keep them on, or how did that go?
No, we all had them, and we all talked to each other, and we've really tried to stress, like, there's no judgment. However you feel is okay. No judgment, but we had the mask, but it's like 95, 99 degrees. So once we got out there, we kind of felt comfortable, and we did not wear the masks. No.
Okay. All right. And then I know that your group is basically run by volunteers that just love being out there with the players. And did any of your volunteers have any issues going out there and being on the court?
We are lucky to have excellent volunteers that are very regular and so good. And most of them have come back. One does not feel comfortable coming back, so she has not returned yet. But and some of the players too, they said they prefer not to come back yet. So it's whatever you want to do, we're good. You do how you feel comfortable, since this is such a fluid situation.
Right. And do you have new players out there that you haven't had in the past? Has any newbies joined your group?
We have had a couple of new players, and we just nobody's really had a problem. So it's okay. We have 2 courts. We usually have about 6 people probably, plus 2 or 3 volunteers. And we're lucky enough to have a ball machine. So we'll get that going on one court so that it's less ball touching. So they'll hit that, and then one person picks up the balls. So that's one way we can try to reduce the amount of people touching the balls.
Okay. All right. And then how do you communicate with your players and your volunteers? I mean, how do they know, hey, we're good to go, we're not good to go? How often do you communicate? How do you communicate with them?
Email. We play on Wednesdays, and usually Monday I send an email saying we're playing at Ridgewood, same time usually. And then sometimes if the weather's questionable, I'll say, pay attention to your email on Wednesday morning. And people will text each other or say, how's it look at your house? Or if you're closer to court? How does it look there? So, because we have people coming from different areas, but email's the main.
Okay. And then, do you have any plans for the rest of the year? I mean, we know it's kind of hard to make plans, but do you have any plans to do anything different the rest of the year? Or are you just going to keep kind of doing what you're doing?
Well, we did receive a grant and we are supposed to have a tournament, but that's put on hold. And I got an email saying, I think pretty much everybody's put that on hold. We were, before this kind of started, we were going to try to do more social activities also, because some people really want to come, but they're not really going to be able to play tennis. So we were saying maybe once a month we'll go do something social together, but that kind of got put on the burner. And I thought we could bring it back, but I'm kind of hesitant about that because there's no need for it right now. We can stay on the courts and socialize, but
Right.
we'd like to expand that a little bit.
Right. So the wheelchair players that had come out, how long had it been for them since they had played tennis? Did they tell you that?
I think everything shut down in March, but I can't remember when we started playing again. Probably May. But most people were ready to get out of the house. And ready. Everybody brought their sanitizer. We have sanitizer out there, and we remind each other to spread out. And so far, luckily, we haven't had any issues. So.
Okay, great. All right, well, it's always good when we don't have issues. But yeah,
I'm good for them too. They can pass like, what would happen if you got it, or it's kind of good support group, like because we can all discuss how we're feeling and things.
Yeah. All right, well, great. Is there anything else that you could maybe pass on to people that are thinking about, hey, should we start getting our wheelchair group program started? I know there's still some that are still waiting for, it could be because they're not been able to get to the courts, or some are still a little bit nervous about getting out, but is there any pointers that you can think of to let people know if they're working with somebody who has a disability, whether they be in a wheelchair or have a prosthetic, leg or prosthetic arm that are part of the group? Any thoughts about that to help them?
It's really individualized. You got to feel comfortable and try to make, your players feel comfortable, but it's really individualized if they want to play or not. You just can't judge, Right.
Well, obviously the players are feeling very comfortable being out with you and the volunteers and everybody else out there. You would.
Well, in a way, it's kind of like good for your immune system too, to get outside and move. Right. That's a benefit.
That is a benefit. Get some vitamin D for sure, because we've all been cooped up. So, well, Jenny, I really appreciate you spending, a few minutes with me, and I can't say how much I appreciate what you're doing with that group.
It's a lot of fun. It's a great group.
A bunch of people, and who knows, maybe we'll get Javier back there sometime.
Let's hope.
With that big smile. So thank you so much for your time, and we'll talk later.
Thank you so much for your help.
All right.